Okay, let's talk to the bunnies first. Brilliant, he said. He said he was glad he spoke, and he thanked me. It was all worth it after all, wasn't it? Even the mistakes we made, because now we can tell them what not to do. Yep. Oh, okay, I guess they're all occupied. Alright, Urianger, your children are occupied. Behold, Brilliant. Though through thine efforts, a word hath spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater than we anticipated. Livingway doth gather more loprits as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skill, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thine attentions, watch over them, I prithee. I guess so.
So much in forever.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
Yeah, they just want to hug a rabbit.
'Twould behoove you to consult with Sleepingway. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial.
That poor man.
Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge. When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master
Who?
Louis Soir,
Oh, okay.
Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget...
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions.
I think I know who this is
I
going
take
to
it
be.
you'd be the one.
Yep.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I know who these are. Who these people are.
Wilson and Moenbryda, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moenbryda's parents.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Moenbryda and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Arthur, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where. Do you have any idea how worried we were?
Urianger, just hug her. Urianger.
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise. Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you. Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
When Urianger, you just gonna sit there? Yeah. There we go.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know, we always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while, arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better. I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy, our daughter, trusted and believed in more than anyone, grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
This Moenbryda. She was important to him, wasn't she?
Just a little.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, Watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing.
A lot of people do.
And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
Well, that was a great cutscene. Hey, Urianger. Oh, there's a bunch of people to talk to. Remind me to invite Urianger for a drink when we have a moment to breathe. We're long overdue for one. We can raise a glass to Moenbryda. I was so busy asking questions about theories that I never thought to ask more about Urianger. I'd like to, but where would I begin? Why does he talk like that? Goodness me, I never felt like there was too little time before. There are so many people to talk to, so many things to learn. I assure you that my fellow Loberts are equally excited to have this opportunity. They were humming the whole way here. We spent a long time gazing at the star, wondering and hoping, but to be here now, to walk among the people, to be part of their lives and know that we've made a difference, it's so much more than I ever dreamed. Oh, you must be one of the Scions, correct? Actually, I'm a Godslayer, but yeah, basically. Thank you for caring for my daughter. The time she spent with you was all too short, but I know she was proud to have you as comrades. Urianger is too, I'm sure, and certainly better for knowing he has good friends to look after him. See that he comes home from time to time, will you? The classic Rogadan language isn't so different from Eorzean. Did you ever wonder why we named our daughter Moon's Bride? When I first held her, the moon was shining silver and full. The whole world seemed to glow. I knew it had chosen her. That she would be a beacon of the self-same light. Of course, we'd later hear our fair share of jokes about how we ought to have gone with Sun instead. With how bright and stubborn she was. But fiery as Moenbryda was, she was always kind and gentle. Right, Urianger, why don't you tell me about that? Oh, brilliant. Be assured that I am fine. I am. Full glad to see them too, after so very long. Gladder still that it was in your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. True. I can see that. Anyway, let me go ahead and open up this coffer so we can fix our stupid boots. Okay, that looks a bit better. Gloves are still messed up, but I just need to dye it all black. Anyway. Hither and yarns. The pall of anxiety over Shirley and Hamlet has thinned to more manageable levels. Ahem. Thou hast my gratitude for lending courage to the Loberts. Not disposed to rest in their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so shall I remain to aid them as need be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alize. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. That sounds like her. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she's less like to scorn. True. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. Pray assist Mistress Alize. She hath taken up too great a burden, like as not. Livingway and I shall attend to matters here. Okay, looks like Aether Current quests popped up. Let me see, those are probably the last two. So, Lad in Labyrinthos and Gleaner's Wish. Let's check those. Yes, both of those are Aether Current quests, so let's go ahead and pick those up and do those real quick. Hello, Musclefrat. The Lad in Labyrinthos. Musclefrat is awfully worried about some things. Oh, what am I to do? Ah, you're that adventurer who helped out the students of Badizian, aren't you? I suppose it matters not to you, but my son seems to have run away. Oh, that's too bad. Why was there a child here in the first place? I thought only why was there a child here in the first place? Ah yes, simply put, my wife and I work in the Avporia, and she happened to conceive whilst we were living here in Charlian Hamlet. I assure you, we had many sleepless nights wondering if we should quit our jobs and leave Labyrinthos, or entrust the child to a friend of ours who dwells somewhere more suitable. Ultimately, we decided to continue our work whilst raising the child here, as a kind of experiment because we are terrible parents. Anyway, after all, our research is focused on the very future that our offspring will inhabit. The issue is, however, that the magic that prevents us from revealing anything confidential is too potent to be used on children, I see. Do you think of this as a problem? Of course, we can't allow the little one to roam freely. There is no telling what he might impart unto others. So he has spent his entire life thus far within the confines of Charlian Hamlet. Again, this does not seem like a suitable environment for a child. We recently had a slight spat with him, and, well, he decided to flee. I imagine me going after him would only make things worse. Could I ask you to talk to him in my stead? No, you do it. I'm sure he'd be much more willing to listen to, anyone other than his parents at this point. I don't think you want me doing it. I'm just gonna reinforce whatever he's mad about. Thank you. I'm not pronouncing that name. Mr. V, my boy, is most likely in the plaza to the east. I cannot imagine he's stuck out any further on his own. I mean, we've gotten demonstration of how these people are his parents from Forschenald. I didn't think we could find anyone worse. Hello, boy. You're doing the right thing. But who are you? And he's gone. Guess we're gonna go chase him around the city. The town. The hamlet, if you would. Hello there. Oh, is that literally all we have to do? Great. I don't want to deal with this stupid story. I'm not going to go home so easily. You probably won't believe me either, but I've noticed that all is not right in Labyrinthos. Why don't you try telling me first? I can decide then what to believe on my own, thank you. Fine, I shall tell you what I've seen. The color of the artificial light here changed recently. I'm sure most people haven't noticed, but when you spend your whole life here, the difference is like night and day. Even so, no one will take me seriously when I bring it up, all because of my age. Got into a big fight with father about it. My parents don't really seem like the kind to care about their child, so I can understand why that happened. But Labyrinthos is in danger. Who knows what would happen if the artificial sun broke? That's why I can't go home just yet. I need to get to the bottom of this first. Now see, this is a more interesting story. Although, I'm scared to venture out on my own. They say there's countless monsters out there. Trust me, kid, there's a bunch of trolls out there. and you don't really want to deal with them. I don't suppose you would come with me. I could pay you. It's not much, but I do get pocket money from my parents. What are you spending this money on? There's nothing here. I'll gladly take your money. You don't need to pay me. I kind of want to stick it to those terrible parents anyway. I thought you were different from the rest, but now you're treating me like a child too. This is a proper deal, all right? You've got to take my money and make it binding. I mean, sure. Then it's settled. Yeah, I'll come back and do that quest eventually. And by eventually, I mean years later. Well, time to ignore you. Got your money, time to leave. Okay, let's talk to this gleaner. A gleaner's wish. The Viera Gleaner is watching you with interest. I mean, I can understand why, but it's a bit rude, don't you think? You're a visitor from Charlian, aren't you? You do have a worldly look about you. As a gleaner, I too have journeyed far and wide. Tell me, where's the farthest you've ventured? Far East? Another world? Yeah, Is that meant to be in jest? The look on your face tells me you're serious. Well, that's because I am. You should do nicely. You see, I need a more experienced traveler to say a prayer for me before I leave for Girbonia. If you would do me the honor, the reactor operator by the tower to the south should have the lantern crystal prepared for the purpose. Okay. Let's see, where am I heading? Oh, outside? Okay. Okay, sir. Can you give us that crystal that we need? Are you here for the crystal? I hope it does some good for that gleaner. Those folks need all the luck they can get. Lanterns light the way through the darkness, a tool which can mean the difference between life and death. They are synchronously synonymous with safe passage, and such, it has become custom in recent days to imbue the crystal inside with the prayers of more seasoned travelers. And today, the traveler is you. Simply face the crystal and pray for the safety of the traveler to be, if you will. Okay, I think I have pray down here somewhere. I thought I did, but it doesn't look like it. Let's just pray return to the waking sands. A colleague recently told me about the power of Akasa, a concept taught in Radzid Han, and how it reacts to strong emotion. I wonder if this method of praying into a crystal is a manifestation of that power. Well, that should about do it. With luck, your prayers will help guide the gleaner safely through the perils of his journey. Okay, let's head on back to the gleaner then. Okay, so I think this is all the Aether Current quests. Yes, this will finish up all the Aether Current quests besides the MSQ one. And there's 3 more overworld ones. Which... yeah, there's one to the northwest, which we'll get soon. Do you have the lantern crystal for me? Yes, I do. And now I depart for Girbonia. I hope your travels are successful, as well as mine. There we go. Let's head back over and continue on with regular MSQ. Let's see, where are we supposed to... oh, we're supposed to search for Alizé, that's right. Yep, to the east. Or that's not the east, that's the west. I don't know why I always get north, west, and east mixed up. Also, let's go ahead and open this up and equip it. Okay, so Alizé's out to the west here. And there's supposed to be an Aether Current over here. Yeah, northwest. Let's look at the map. We're down here. Okay, so there's one up there. There's one up here. Or I think that's right. Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and grab that first. Yeah, north. Yep, there it is. And of course, there's no back exit. Sir, I'm busy. Okay, just need 2 more overworld ones. Next one's way far to the west. Let's get to Alizé first. Okay, Alizé. Where are you? Wait, what? Hold on. It's showing me that there's... Oh, never mind. I'm reading this map wrong. Okay. So the last 2 Aether Currents are actually a bit to the west. There's one a bit to the west over here, then there's one like way down here. Which we'll get to eventually. First we gotta talk to Alizé. Squeal, squeal! Brilliant! What are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting task. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. I think you're the one that's more of the danger with that. Alphinote should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Deliver the crate to Alphanode. You will have 3 minutes to complete the task. Should you fail, return starting location. Yeah. Carry the crate. They just needed some quest to get us over here. Oh, in which case, I should have grabbed the Aether Current first. Right? Yeah, I should probably grab the Aether Current first, but... if I see it on the way, then I'll grab it and start over, but... no, that's gonna be a bit of a waste of time, isn't it? Yeah, let's just drop the crate and get the Aether Current first. Yeah, northeast. Northeast. Is it gonna be up there? Where is it? Just east, okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's why I did that, because we're gonna run all the way to the next Aether, what are they called again? Aether crystals? Okay, so there's one more overworld one and one MSQ. Hello, Mr. Treant. Okay, let's do this again. Next one should be around here. Or the last one should be around there. If there's no monsters, there's no reason I need to actually take the path. Besides, it seems like the monsters are on the path. Nope, there's Alphanode. Alphanode, I doubt you carry those yourself. We all know your scrawny Redditor arms can't carry that much. Oh, are you helping with the crates? Wonderful. You can put that there, with the others. You have my gratitude. But how do you come to be involved in this? I mean, it's kind of my job. Huh. Then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we are tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. It turns out that this is the base of operations of sorts. Those with the final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh, hush. They're lighter than they look. Not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we finished. Theopoldin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for the assistance at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. True. Well then, let's head on over to the courtyard. I think I'll make sure to get the Aether Crystal first. And the Chocobo Keep to get it off the map, so I don't have to see that every time I walk by. Get the Aetherite Crystal, that's what I keep on, I forgot the name. Right, and then let's meet up with, what's his name, Theopoldin. This must be Theopoldin. I keep thinking that I've seen him elsewhere, but I cannot for the life of me think when. Remember when. Gods, it never ends, does it? Ah, what can I do for you? We've brought samples from the Charlian Hamlet, Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I had expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You are Fortunat's children, are you not? Alphanode and Alize, at your service. You're well acquainted with father, I take it. Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were yay high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. Just good to see you again, wielding your father's knowledge, no less. You knew our parents when they were young? What were they like? Pray spare us no details, you want some blackmail material. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork were at want for submission. We can help you with that, in exchange for some sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happens to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Sounds good to me. Wait right here. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphanode and Alize. I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Alright then, let's head down. Let's head over and help this person, or deliver this document. I think I'll just follow this person. They seem like they know where they're going. Yep. Are you not one of the Scions of the 7th Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the Aether Burner. Oh, well, I got your document here. I'm just gonna ignore that question. Theopoldin's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlian has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie. I haven't heard that word. Maybe I've heard it and haven't read it. Your pursuit of truth. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish up this quest. I think I'll do 1 or 2 more quests, and then that'll get us the Aether Current. So let's go ahead and talk to Theopoldin and finish off this one. Quick and efficient, I dare say you have a talent for this work. I mean, yeah, I'm the main character. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. We return with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swaddling clothes and... That is quite enough talk of that. Thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked here to reiterate. Of course. I've known your father for so long. I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why your name garners such respect in Charlian is your family's storied history. You too can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard the Rogan name Here's Hope, a lineage few can claim. I never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Rogan name here's pronouncement renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, Archon Louisoix looked not to Rogan name here's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy, and the fall of civilizations that led him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to its doom. There will ever be conflict and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one may conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlian or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son, yet that's how I thought this was gonna go. Yet Fortunaud could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortunaud agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. Yeah, they didn't know this. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know Fortunaud's a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet, even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. Finally getting confirmation of this. You should have seen him when you were born, barely recognizable. He was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since his first took a fancy to your mother. I knew we were going to get to that story. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Oh yes, we are very aware. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure these specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Cool. I believe there's 2 more quests, and then that second one will give us the Aether Current. Hail, you 3! Who dis? Ah. Graha Tia. Graha! Surely Kokal hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands. And here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alizé and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too much as it is. What about you, Brillian? Can you spare the time? Well, if it's for Graha, of course I can. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Much as I'd like to press Theopolden for more revealing tidbits, we should be getting back to our task. 'Tis strange to hear father spoken in such a way, but I suppose he would find your view of me no less odd. Once forged, an unspecified task awaits you. In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky into my lap, Master Kokal wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to the anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames in Kokal's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of aether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire-aspected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. Okay, that sounds good. This is where we part then. We shall see you in Charlie and Hamlet once the adamantite arrives, if not before. This way then. Okay, let's do this. Oh, wrong button. Alright, got some more new gear. And now let's head on over to the Aether Reactor. Looks like there's gonna be a... Yeah, the Aether Current is over here. I think I'll grab that before we do the quest. Okay, so the Aether Current should be around where this flag is, but... not 100% sure. I know it's gonna be in that general area. I mean, the Aether Compass says so. Hold on, Graha. Be with you in just a second. Oh, there it is. I think I might grab this next area too, just to get it off the map. Should be just through that area over there. Okay, that should be all of the overworld Aether Currents. Yep. All that's left is the MSQ one. Okay. Now I just need to unlock the last area. Oh no, there's some spots over here. Either way, it'll be really quick to get the rest of the map once I get flying. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire aether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself. Trust me. Can I ask you to put down any that draw too near? They'll pose a little trouble, I'm sure. Well, sounds like my specialty. Wait here, if you would. Alright. Bunch purple smoke, time to kill stuff. Oh, hello, sir. May I give you a poke? There we go, that's one. I'm sure there'll be more. Yep, there's some more. And another. There we go. Well, that was easy. Did everything go smoothly out here? Of course it did. Why are you asking? I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water aether appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Elpis. True. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alog, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allagans' efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Talmud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Alog's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Amon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars. Did he remember his life as Hermes? Oh, okay, that's right. I believe he had his own reasons. There was no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. Yeah, because Emmett granted him the seat of Fandaniel, if I recall correctly. He only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem to far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak, a natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know that relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alog that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zandi. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zandi's return, Amon provided these languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zandi been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that the lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet... To reach those stars on wings of adamantite, the travel to the ends of the creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Kokol is getting on? Graha going and throwing a bunch of things to think about there. Anyway, let's head back to Kokol at his furnace at the forge. And then I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up now after we get there. Okay, where's the entrance again? It's been a while since we were here last time, right? Yeah. So we started out at the hamlet and then went down here to the forge. Now it looks like we've mostly finished Labyrinthos. I think. Also, I see the name of the next trial, but I don't know what the context is for that. I'm very interested in seeing what happens. But, we're gonna wait till next time. First, let's talk to Graha and Kokol, though. I did thoroughly brief Kokol on refined endomentite history. I only volunteered to go to the reactor because I was finished and there was little else to do. Hopefully that dispels any misapprehensions that I was kicked out for prattling on. Sure, Graha. Sure. Woo! I can feel those flames blazing from here. Glad I found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you lot to do. Unless you can conjure a refined endomentite any faster. Nope, no we can't, unfortunately.